You know that feeling when you're trying to decide where to go next, but you realize you have no idea where you actually are right now? It's like trying to use GPS without allowing location services. It doesn't work. You need a starting point. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today. Because as we approach the end of another year, I've learned something powerful. You can't choose your next step if you don't know where you are right now. This is why every December I do something that used to feel counterintuitive to me. I pause. In a world that's constantly telling us to hustle, to keep moving, to plan bigger and better things, I stop. I take time to look back over the current year, not to dwell on it, not to judge it, but to truly see it for what it was. And here's what I've discovered. This pause isn't a luxury. It's not procrastination. It's actually the most productive thing I do all year. Because this pause, this intentional check in with myself and my business, this is the foundation of everything that comes next. So, what does this check in actually look like? Here's something most people miss. This isn't a mental exercise I do while scrolling through my phone or multitasking at my desk. I do this from an embodied state of being. That means I'm fully present in my body, not just my head. Maybe I take a few deep breaths first. Maybe I go for a walk. Maybe I do some standing twists. Maybe I sit somewhere quiet with my journal and actually feel into the year, not just think about it. Because here's the truth. Your body remembers things your mind forgets. The excitement of a win lives in your body. The contraction of a disappointment, that's stored there too. When you check in from this grounded, embodied place, you access a deeper level of truth about your year. You're not just reviewing data points, you're tuning into the wisdom of your lived experience. From this present embodied state, I celebrate my wins, and I mean really celebrate them, not just the big obvious ones, but the small victories too. The client I helped transform their trauma, I celebrate. The day I finally figured out that system that was frustrating me for months, I definitely celebrate. The moment I said no to something that wasn't aligned with my goals, I celebrate that too. But I also look at my lessons. Notice I didn't say failures because I've stopped seeing them that way. Every stumble, every plan that didn't work out, every project that fell flat, those weren't failures. They were information. They were data points showing me what to adjust. So I ask myself, what did I do well this year? What brought me energy? What moved the needle in my business and for my clients? What lit me up? And then what didn't go as planned? What drained me? What do I want to leave behind as I move forward? This honest inventory, celebrating the wins and acknowledging the lessons, this is where clarity lives. Now, here's the thing. This reflection process, this isn't just a nice trip down memory lane. This is actually the beginning of my planning process for the next year. And because I'm doing it from an embodied state, from a place of presence and groundedness, the insights I get are so much more accurate, so much more true. When you're in your head, you plan from shoulds. You plan from what looks good on paper. You plan from what other people are doing. But when you're in your body, fully present with yourself, you plan from truth, from alignment, from what actually resonates with who you are and where you want to go. Because only by checking in first from this grounded, embodied place, only by really understanding where I am right now, not just intellectually, but in my whole being, can I begin to create a meaningful plan for where I want to go next. Think about it. If I tried to plan my next year without this reflection, I'd be planning in a vacuum. I'd be setting goals based on where I think I should be or where others are, instead of building on the real foundation of where I actually am. And that foundation, that's your competitive advantage. That's your unique starting point. No one else has your exact combination of wins and lessons from this year. No one else has your specific insights about what worked and what didn't work for you. So I want to ask you, Do you check in with where you currently are before you make any big decisions? And more importantly, are you doing that check in from an embodied state? Or are you just running through mental checklists while you're distracted, stressed, or disconnected from yourself? Because here's what I've learned: the quality of your plan depends entirely on the accuracy of your starting point. And the accuracy of your starting point depends on your ability to be fully present with yourself when you assess it. You can have the most detailed map in the world, but if you don't know where you are on that map, you're just wandering. So before you start planning 2026 or even your next big adventure, before you set those big goals, before you decide what's next, I'm inviting you to pause with me. Take time in these final weeks of the year to really look back, not from your to-do list, not from your overflowing inbox, but from a place of presence. Get grounded. Put those feet on the floor. Maybe go for a walk first. Get embodied. Take a few breaths. And then reflect. Celebrate your wins, all of them, big and small. Honor your lessons. Every single one taught you something valuable. Feel into what you did well and what didn't go as planned. Get clear on where you actually are in your mind, yes, but also in your body, in your energy, in your whole being. Because then and only then can you create a plan that's built on solid ground, a plan that honors where you've been and points you toward where you actually want to go. Your next chapter starts with knowing how this chapter ends. So let's pause, let's reflect, let's check in, and then we can create something amazing. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Do you have a year-end reflection practice? What does it look like? I'd love to hear from you. And if you want more content about living from an embodied state of being, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.